Well, good morning. It is April 28th at 7:23 a.m. It is 51 degrees. Should be a good day if it's that warm that early on a Tuesday morning on my way to breakfast. So as you might have guessed, if you follow any of these videos, if I leave that early, that's an indicator that my sweetheart is not in town. She left this morning. We left at exactly the same time this morning. Her going to the Seattle airport, off to Arizona, and me doing my normal routine. I did run around the 4 acres this morning. I think I ran half, walked fast the other half. Definitely got winded. Feels good. I need to do that more frequently, keep my body in shape. So videos moving forward, I don't really see a good way to separate these. So we're going to talk about my health because that's a newly introduced component in all of this. There's no getting away from it. There's no running away from it. It's an hourglass, and it goes hand in hand with the project that I'm trying to create. So the server project, for those that don't know, is a business server that I've been trying to get off the ground for a while now. I've used it in my own business. I've sold it to many businesses, and I think it could be a nationwide, worldwide kind of a product. And I can't really get into all the details. I've got to create the website that sells it. It's just too complicated. It would take forever, and it would occupy this whole video. But safe to say, it's the heartbeat of the average small business. And as I'm working on those things, those dreams that I'm trying to make come true, I get diagnosed with cancer. And, you wonder what that day is going to be when you're sitting across from a doctor and he says, it is cancer, this is what it is, and this is what we're going to try to do next. And you're in a fog, and I've been in a fog, I think, ever since that day, ever since that moment, to some degree. There's a shock, that you just internalize, and you know what that could mean. And you don't have all the information at the beginning. There's a lump right there. You probably can't see it. You might be able to see it. I'm not sure. I can certainly feel it right there. And there was a lump, and still is a lump on the inside of my mouth. And so I went in and made an appointment, saw my regular doctor, saw my dentist, then eventually saw the ear, nose, and throat where I got the diagnosis. So it turns out what I'm looking to hear, I did some research on Claude last night, and there is a variant that is called HPV positive, human papillomavirus positive, I think it is. And that variant increases the odds for a smooth, chemo, whatever it is that they throw at it. It works, 95% of the time. You should be okay, especially if it's caught at the early stages. If it's not the HPV variant, then you're going to be battling for your life, and it's one that metastasizes and goes different places, and it's much more aggressive. It's a different animal, and they're both. It almost sounds like Sasquatch. Sarcoma, carcinoma. I can't think all the damn names of it. But so now I've got the biopsy done. The most recent thing I did was I go in. They took a piece out of my tonsil, because that's where the cancer is, on the tonsil. They took a piece of that out, and they sent it in for a biopsy. And yeah, I know what you're thinking, just take your tonsils out. But this is now, they believe the lymph node has cancer in it. So that puppy would have to come out as well as that, and then go from there. So it's not just a tonsil issue at this point. So where do we go from here? The biopsy's done. I went in, they carved out a piece of the tonsil. That whole area has been super sore since then. And I'm waiting for the biopsy to come back. That's it. Total limbo right now. Emotionally, I get a little depressed here and there because I don't want to go. I don't want to die. I don't want this to come back as the non-HPV variant. but it could, and that really frickin' changes everything. You know, I think about my son who's running the business at Douglas. You know, I've got another son, James, love equally. One of them, though, is running my business, and it's his business when something happens to me. And, you know, we've had conversations and we've touched on things, but it's too early to have the real serious conversation. The serious conversation is, I'm dead, and you come into work tomorrow. What's work like? What do you do? What do you need to get your head around? And what are you willing to get your head around? Because he knows nothing about the servers. He knows nothing about the website technology. He knows nothing about the server that runs our very business, and he's not expected to. That hasn't been an area for him. I need him for all the other things. And that's my area. That's my 1/3 of the business. You know, Oren does all the on-sites, and Oren and him share all the stuff that comes into the business. He's the manager. You know, if you carve away the service side of the business, you can still do business. That business still lives. They can still order parts. They can still fix computers. They can still sell computers. But they just don't have a future that has the service in it. The future of their business is completely redefined with R&D out of the loop. I don't know if that's going to make it better for them, because I haven't been a major contributor to the whole thing. Everything's built on the future. All right, so now let's talk about the server project itself. I left off yesterday creating the PCB board. I was designing the PCB board. Actually, it was the day before yesterday. That's going to be the backplane for 6 of our hard drives that need to plug into this device. And it's been a very interesting road. It's taken a week of my time. I'm using AI. I'm using a program called KiCad it's KICAD if you want to look it up, to create the PCB boards. And I'm telling AI, you know, make me a KiCad compatible PCB board. This is what it needs to do. I drew a picture of it. I didn't draw a picture of it. I took a photo of an existing backplane that only had 4, and I sliced and diced and made it look like 6, and I gave it an idea of what it needed to look like. But the minutia, the detail of a PCB board, which is obvious at a glance, there's so many little frickin' wires going so many different places and so many numbers and naming conventions, which I've since called silkscreen descriptions. It is, you know, where it gets its power from. Do you want the drives to be staggered when they start up, or all powered on at once? They're all at once, puts more drain on whatever. If you're going to have that, you got to have caps, you know, that can handle the extra power, and I guess they blow if it's too much power or whatever. Just this ongoing detail that I never thought I was going to know. Hopefully I'll be done with that today. I've said that 3 or 4 days now. Yesterday I went to work, and that, by the way, that's a critical component. Without that, our server will never be what I want it to be. Our backplane, yeah, I can buy backplanes off the shelf that hold 6 drives. The problem is they're very close together, and I've talked about this before in other videos. And if I use regular hard drives, not SSDs, regular hard drives, there's a heat buildup that goes with that, and that heat buildup will translate into failed drives. If they're too close together, the heat affects each other. And every single backplane in the industry has them stacked right beside each other to conserve space in the box. I know what's best for drives. I've been in this business forever. I own a computer store. You need to create space. They need to stand completely alone. Air all around them, and a little fan to blow the what little heat is left remaining around them away from them. So that's what needs to be created, and that's what I'm creating. I've ordered so many cases, server cases, put my stuff in them, sold them, and inevitably that problem bites me in the ass. I've drilled holes with a hole saw this big through the enclosures of some of these drive containers to get the heat out of them. But scratching my head, like, why would anybody build this that way? So it just doesn't exist. And that's how inventions come about, and that's what this is. Yesterday, though, I had two things come up. One was my email server. One of my credentials got compromised on one of the email addresses I use to send out information from all of our websites. So CompuMatter.com, you go to contact us, you send something, the server sends it from a specific address. And the same address is the address I use for a variety of other websites. And somehow that credential got compromised. Don't know how it got compromised, but I had like 1 million emails attempted from my server. It had been going on for days. I didn't know about it. I need to find out what the alert system is in my server that would have let me know about that, so I wasn't sleeping through it. I ended up getting alerted by a customer who said they sent us an email and nobody replied. And I dug in. I found out, well, I haven't got an email for 2 days from that address. So that means every customer I have that has a website wouldn't have gotten an email for 2 days. And I'm still really not done with that whole thing. I have killed the email address, created a new one, different credentials, and I have at least one idea of where that credential might have leaked from. But I really don't know, but I plugged that leak. And so that drama goes on. It took half a day. And then I had to direct my attention to the caretakersonline.com website. And that's a website I created for Tracy and myself, and the hiring of a caretaker, finding a caretaker online, and all the things that they're supposed to do, and timesheets that they're supposed to fill out, and applications collected online. Contact us on the website. A wide variety of things. And Tracy wanted the ability to add tasks and add categories and edit those tasks and change sort orders and different things on that appear on the timesheet. And up till now, it was all hard-coded in, so I went through all that, and that was the other half of my day. So I didn't get back to my back plane at all yesterday. And all the while, in the back of my brain, I've got this Wi-Fi project hanging over my head at Guimas Island Resort that I've already invested a number of hours in. I've already collected $600 for them. There's a lot more to go on that project, and I honestly, battling the cancer, dealing with the server and everything else, I just don't even want to do it. And before the cancer, I wanted to do it. I wanted to learn how to do it. It was interesting to me, and it would apply to my own property, to the farm that I live on. We could use it there, the knowledge that I would accumulate doing this. But it's a ferry ride. I've got to get in a ferry and go over there, and it's time. And so I'm 50-50 as to whether I'm going to offer them their money back or give them the videos that were created if they want, and bow out of this, or proceed and go over there and start dealing with the myriad of unknowns. There's so many of them. They've got cables running underground that don't have a signal, and I got to find out what's the matter with those cables. And can I shoot Wi-Fi under trees? They're in a forested area, like a state park kind of a place. A lot of things I haven't done before. And at 67, do I want to frickin', Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Okay, my dog's in the back. I have to take her every day. She has to be part of what I do every day. No getting around it. So I'm going to see if I can bring her into the breakfast drink with me today. I'll see you later.